Good morning, dear students. So, in the last class, we discussed the definition of stress, that is, what is stress, and types of stress we discussed. Okay. So, now in today's class, we are continuing the previous class topic. So, there we studied the types of stress in that normal stress. Again, in normal stress, we studied the tensile stress and compressive stress. Okay. Now the second stress is, which is called as, it is a tangential stress. Tangential stress, or it is also called as shear stress. It is also called as shear stress. Let us we consider suppose we are considering a box, an object we are considering, okay, who is having a length L, okay, so whose sides is having a length L. Now if I apply a force on this box tangentially, now I am applying a force tangentially, that means like this. Okay. Now what happens here? The body changes its position. An object changes its position. So initially it was here. Now this one is the distance where the body moved from initial position to this position. Okay. मतलब मैंने यहाँ पे जो फोर्स अप्लाई किया तो ऐसे में टेंजेंशियल ऐसे अप्लाई किया तो बॉडी जो डिस्प्लेस होगा वो ऐसे होगा. इट विल मूव इन द फॉरवर्ड डायरेक्शन कीपिंग द लोअर पार्ट एज अ फिक्स्ड एंड द अपर पार्ट विल बी मूव बिकॉज आई एम अप्लाइंग द फोर्स एज अ tangential. Okay, so this much will be the change in the displacement. Okay, initially it was here, so now x and here L is the side of an object. Okay, now what is the stress here? That means here stress means what here? The force acting tangentially, the force acting tangentially on the surface of a body to the area of the surface of the body is called, that is, tangential stress. As I explained you the definition of stress. Stress means what here? That is F by A. I defined the definition of the stress is not the external force applied on the body to the area of the body is called as stress. The same thing here also. So this will be the area. Okay. Now here the tangential stress means what here? The tangential, the force which is acting on the surface, tangentially which is acting. So that force divided by area of the body is called as, that is, tangential stress. Okay. So this is for the stress. So once again I am repeating the definition. The force acting along the tangent of the surface of a body to the area of the surface of the body is called as, that is, tangential stress. Okay. Now next that is, so I am writing here tangential stress. Definition is tangential stress means force acting, tangent force, or also tangent force acting on the surface, to the area of the surface is called as, it is, tangential stress. Now the next one is, which is called as bulk stress. bulk stress. Okay. Now, what is this bulk stress? Here, the same here for all normal stress, tangential stress, and for bulk stress, the definition will be common here. That is force by area only. So, only the difference is that how the force is acting on the body. Okay. Now, this bulk stress. Suppose let us be consider here. Let us be consider a container which is filled with water. A container filled with water. When an object is immersed inside a fluid means water, any liquid. Okay. So the force is going to be acted on the will act on the body. So the fluid exerts, the liquid exerts a force in all direction on the body. यहाँ पे जो लिक्विड है, यहाँ पे जो पानी है, सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे हम कंसीडर कर रहे हैं पानी, इसमें हम कोई एक ऑब्जेक्ट इसमें हमने प्लेस कर दिया, तो इससे क्या होगा यहाँ पे ये जो लिक्विड है, ये लिक्विड क्या करेगा, ये ऑलवेज इट विल एक्सर्ट अ फोर्स ऑन दिस बॉडी. बिकॉज ऑफ दिस फोर्स एक्टिंग ऑन अ बॉडी, द बॉडी इज गोइंग टू चेंज इट्स शेप. So again we can say that here bulk stress means what here, the force exerted by the liquid on the body to the area of the body. Same thing here. That is called as bulk stress. Okay, bulk stress means what here, that is the force exerted by the fluid in all direction, from all direction, which is acting on the body to the area of the body is called as this bulk stress. Okay, so it is called as a bulk stress. Okay, so for all these stress we are having the same unit which I told in the first class. So the SI unit of the stress is what? Newton per meter square, or also the one more unit which is called as Pascal. And the dimension formula is also same, that is 1 in mass minus 1 in length minus 2 in time. So dimension formula is also same for all these tangential stress and bulk stress and the normal stress. Okay, so this is what the types of stress. Normal stress. In normal stress we are having, this one is the first type which we discussed in the last class. Normal stress. In normal stress we are having tensile stress and compressive stress. Right? Okay. So tensile stress, I told you that in tensile stress there will be the elongation, there will be the change in the length, increase in the length, whereas in compressive there will be the decreasing length. Okay, so this is what the types of stress which we discussed in the today's class. So now next we move towards the next topic, that is strain. Okay. So now let us move towards the next topic, which is called as strain. Strain. So just now we discussed normal stress, tensile stress, compressive stress, tangent stress, and bulk stress. Okay, these are the types of the stress. Now the next topic we are discussing the strain. What do you mean by this strain? Strain means the ratio of change in configuration to the original configuration, or also we can say that change in dimension to the original dimension. Change in dimension to the original dimension is called, it is strain. Okay, so स्ट्रेस में हम जब भी फोर्स अप्लाई करते हैं किसी बॉडी पे तब उसका कुछ डायमेंशंस चेंज हो गए होते हैं. सो दैट इज व्हाट कॉल्ड एज स्ट्रेन. चेंज इन डायमेंशन टू द ओरिजिनल डायमेंशन इज कॉल्ड एज स्ट्रेन. स्ट्रेन, ये स्ट्रेन कब होगा? जब कोई एक टाइप ऑफ स्ट्रेस उस पर जब एक्ट होगा. ओके, जब कोई एक टाइप ऑफ स्ट्रेस, जैसे कि मान लो फॉर एग्जांपल फर्स्ट केस में हम वहां पे टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस कंसीडर किए थे, पढ़े थे वहां पे टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस, कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेस. इसमें क्या हो रहा था? यहाँ पे लेंथ इंक्रीज हो रहा था. पहला लेंथ कुछ ओरिजिनल लेंथ L था, जैसे कि अपने लास्ट क्लास में आपको एक्सप्लेन किया था. वहां पे लेंथ चेंज हो रहा था, यहाँ पे लेंथ डिक्रीज हो रहा था. ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाट द चेंज इन dimension. Dimension either it might be a area or either it might be a length or it might be a volume also. Okay, so that is what the change in dimension to the original dimension is called as strain. And one more thing you should remember, that strain has no unit. Strain has no unit. Okay, it doesn't have a unit. Okay, as for stress we are having a unit that is called as Newton per meter square, but for strain we are not having any unit because dimensions. यहाँ पे फॉर एग्जांपल चेंज, यहाँ पे लेंथ बदल रहा है. समझो मीटर है 15 सेंटीमीटर, 15 सेंटीमीटर 15.5 सेंटीमीटर डिवाइड बाय 15 सेंटीमीटर, so centimeter will get cancelled. So that's why here it is having no dimension. Okay, so strain means it is defined as the change in dimension to the original dimension is called strain, and for strain it has no unit. If it has no unit, then no dimensional formula also. No dimensional formula. No dimensional formula also. So here in strain also we are having the types of strain. Types of strain. Okay, the first type is that is called as longitudinal strain. Longitudinal strain. As just now I told you the definition, strain is change in dimension to the original dimension. So in types of strain, first we will discuss the first type of strain which is called as a longitudinal strain. So इसे समझने के लिए हम यहाँ पे कंसीडर करेंगे. Let us we consider a metallic rod, any rod, or steel rod or metallic rod, okay, whose length is L. तो यहाँ पे length L है, right? L is the original length. Here I am mentioning it. L is the original length. Okay. Now, if I stretch it, as I told you in the tensile stress, in tensile stress, if I stretch it, if I pull from both the sides, then what happens? There will be increase in the length. So यहाँ पे इसी रॉड को अगर मैं यहाँ पे पुल किया यानी कि स्ट्रेच किया by applying some external force, then there will be some increase in the length. Okay, initially the length it was L. So अब यहाँ पे पुल किया मैंने इसे, फोर्स अप्लाई किया, तो क्या हो गया? यहाँ पे कुछ लेंथ यहाँ पे इंक्रीज हो गया. Let us we consider that change in length is how much? Delta L. So I am writing here. Delta L is the change in So now how can we define this longitudinal strain? So longitudinal strain means here what? Change in length to the original length. So I am writing here how we can define this longitudinal strain. Change in length divided by, that is, original length. So original length. So that means change in length is how much? Delta L. So here I will write delta L. Original length is how much? L. This is what the definition of the longitudinal strain. Longitudinal strain is defined as the ratio of change in length to the original length is called as longitudinal strain. So this type of strain will produce when the tensile stress is being applied on the road. Either it might be a tensile stress or it might be a compressive stress. Okay, here we apply the tensile stress here. That is delta because the increase in the change over. Okay, this type of longitudinal strain will produce when tensile stress is being applied on the body. Okay, changing length to the original length here. And here no unit here because just now it said with it. Strain has no unit, hence for longitudinal strain also there is no unit. Okay, so just note down this one. So students, so today we discussed the definition of strain and the types of strain. So this in types of strain we discussed the only one type of strain here, which is called as a longitudinal strain. So in the next class we will discuss the other types of strains. Okay, thank you students.